What's up YouTube, Cap over here, and welcome to Cap 101, the battle proportion, not the team building. This is the battle proportion of the battle in which we take the team that we built and test it out on the field. And if you haven't already checked out the team building video, be sure to check it out, as it does have a lot of good information on the team that we have that we're using today. It's in the description down below, so be sure to check it out. And today there's a local Quidditch Cup going on. That's right, that's the thing. There's a tournament and there's lots of people yelling, so be sure to give that like button a little love, as most likely there will be Hufflepuffs, and we do have a Hufflepuff on our team, so give that like button a little love, a little Hufflepuff love, a little Hufflepuff love. There we go, something like that. And today I have a battle with fellow Redditor Frank, and he brought in quite the team, as we see the Dino, which is most likely the Mega Dino, and the Swallow, which always hits hard. So I didn't really know who he'd lead off with, and I figured Chief Wiggum's is a great mod to lead off with, as he can sort of scout out a couple things. So here's my Chief Wiggum looking all in his glory, as he's gonna send out the Lanoon Afternoon, go for Protect, and I figured he just wanted to scout out what I was gonna do as I go for an Icy Wind, but he has Toxic, and I'm like, yo man, that sucks. That's unfortunate for you, as he decides to trick me. He passed Kindergarten and he's gonna share the Toxic Orb and take my Assault Vest, and I was like, yo man, I did not want that to happen. That's not fair, that's not fun at all. So luckily for me, I go for a Psyshock, and that's not gonna get affected by the Assault Vest, so that's always good. That's always a good time. I'm happy about that. He's gonna withdraw his Afternoon. Wish him a good afternoon, may come back out at night or something, but Nurse Joy will make through. And if you guys don't know, Nurse Joys are really bulky mons, and we do learn that this is the Mega Adino. So this thing is going to be quite the thing to take down, as this is one of my favorite Pokemon that got a Mega Evolution, because the design is so awesome. I wish it was just an Evolution form, as he's gonna go for a Toxic, and this thing is starting to become quite the wall, as I figured I'd charge up my special attack and hopefully take it down with some other attacks, but we see that it's not doing anything. I can't go for Shadow Ball because it's a normal fairy type, and it can simply outstall me just going for the wishes. And yeah, it's not a good time for Chief Wiggum. Chief Wiggum is slowly getting dwindled down, and as we know, Chief Wiggum ain't a marathon runner. He's sort of a sit down, eat some donuts, one of those guys that just enjoys what he wants to do. As you can tell, he's not moving that fast. He's not feeling that healthy. He's feeling a bit tired. So that's a bit unfortunate, as I'm gonna get a second Psyshock off, and my main objective over here was to deal as much damage as I could on this Mega Dino, and Chief Wiggum sort of did that, but at the same time he really didn't do that. But he did take that Ice Beam, as he is thick fat, and Asuna will take Meloetta will take on the field, and I was hoping I'd do a lot more damage than I did over here, as I really do learn how bulky Mega Dinos are. I have a Mega Dino, and it always surprises me on how bulky these Pokemon are. And if you guys don't know, Mega Dinos share a really high special defense and defense, so bad move on my part for not realizing that, as Lucid Dreams will come on through. As I decide to go for a Psychic, I sort of predicted that he would go switch out just because he wanted to save the Dino for something else, so I figured Hyper Voice wasn't a smart thing to go into, and I'm just gonna go for my Heal Bell because I don't want to get dwindled down thanks to toxic damage. So yeah, I don't want to do that. As this thing's gonna get fully healed, and he's gonna reveal that he is a Chesto Berry set, which means he has the Unburden, so he is officially faster than me now. But he doesn't realize I am also a normal type, so that Shadow Ball goes a bit unnoticed, and I do get the crit. So that whole sequence of events really went in my favor, as you know, Meloetta ain't the Pokemon that looks so normal, as he's gonna go for Retaliate because he does have the quick feet off, and I'm just gonna go down thanks to that. So that's a bit unfortunate, but afternoon is slowly gonna dwindle down thanks to poison damage. And I figured I'd just go into Hufflepuff because Hufflepuff can take whatever hits this thing wants to deal with. So as you can see over here, I'm gonna go for a Con Guard, get my defense to a decent amount, to a point where Facade should do absolutely nothing. And if that were the case, he would slowly dwindle down thanks to poison damage. So at this point, I'm looking pretty healthy. I'm looking pretty good. I ain't looking too shabby. As Spicy Sauce will make his way through. That's right. Spicy. Spicy is looking pretty spicy, as I figure these things usually go for a Nuzzle or an Encore or an Agility and a Baton Pass. So fortunately for me, he goes for an Encore and he is forced to withdraw. I was really fearing this thing had Volt Absorb or some sort of variant of that where Thunder attacks do nothing. So I'm forced to go for a Shadow Ball, and I'm just gonna switch into my Koki as I'm hoping the star of this team can pull through for me and take down this Mega Adino, this thing that I call such a threat. My friend has become my worst enemy, and I'm like, why Mega Adino? Why are you doing this to me? This is not how it goes down. And he does get the wish, so Mega Adino's looking pretty healthy. Kingler's poisoned and things aren't looking good, so I'm hoping the star will pull through, as we see that he does. And I'm like, yo man, that's why you've got the spotlight on you. That's why you're the star of this team. You get the crit when it matters, taking out that really bulky mon, and the crit mattered. It mattered so much. So Prune Juice is going to come on through, as I figured I'm not fond of Prune Juice, and so is Kingler. Kingler ain't fond of that. So I'm going to go into Mr. T, and Mr. T will drink that Prune Juice. He's drank it a couple times because he's a tough guy. He's a tough mon. As I'm just going to get some Leech Seed damage, and that sort of sucks, but he makes the move and switches out into Afternoon as he wants to recover some of the Leech Seed damage and put it back onto Afternoon. Fortunately for me, I do have Rapid Spin, so I figured the best play at this point would be to get rid of the Leech Seeds, and possibly Poison damage will probably take it out, as it is ranking up on Afternoon, and Afternoon can't do a lot of damage on me. So Facade will come my way. It does a decent amount, but I'm relatively bulky, and I'm just going to go for the Rapid Spin, getting rid of those rocks or those Leech Seed things on me, and I'll simply just recover some health back, as this thing will not go down to poison damage, but fortunately for me, I have Protect, and it will go down to the next turn. So it was no point of really taking the Lunu down one turn before, because I can recover a lot of HP and at the same time get rid of the Leech Seed. So it's just planning ahead is always good. It's always good when you plan ahead. A lot of people don't do it, but I'm guilty of not doing it either. But Spicy Sauce will make another appearance, and I decided, Mr. T, that's enough. You've done your job quite well. As I figured he'd go for an Encore once again, or some Nuzzle move. So he does, and I make the bold prediction over here to see if he's any Volt Absorbing thing, and if he is, that sucks, but he's not, and will go down to the Thunderbolt. That is Choice Spec. So Lego my Eggo is gonna come on through, and I'm like, yo man, I've got your Eggos, I'm gonna take your Eggos, as he's gonna go for the Protect, probably wanting to get that Toxic Orb off, or Flame Orb, or any of those sorts. But I am the really fast Jolteon on max speed, and this thing doesn't have a Scarf on it, so Swallow will go down thanks to all of that, and Prune Juice will make another appearance, and I'm slowly realizing this guy likes his Eggos and Prune Juice, because yeah. So I decided I'm going to take a shot of Prune Juice and do a decent amount of damage on the Thunderbolt. So that does so much damage, considering this is a Magnum who is probably special defensive. I think that's what it is, but Diamond Dash is proving on why taking the Eggos from the Swallow and drinking the Prune Juice from this this Bella right here, as he's not going to take, he's going to get the crit. It's a crit. It's a crit. As he's not going to take that well at all, not to the bank, not to anywhere. He's not going to go for a stroll. He's actually just going to lay down, decide that he's eaten enough, and take a little nap. As I figured, you know what, the star will shine once again and go for an X-Scissor, taking down Prune Juice. And this team is proving to be quite the troublesome, as I do get the win. And really good battle, Frank. Really good battle. You brought in some mons that definitely really scared me. And the bird Unburden and Chesto set is really, it's such a cool thing to see. I love when people always pull off those things, because a lot of people don't see it coming. As obvious as it is, a lot of people don't see it. So thanks for the battle, Frank. And this team is proving to be quite the team. As you guys haven't, if you guys haven't checked out the team building video, I recommend that you do. And I do believe this team has 2 wins under its belt, so that's always good to see, as I'm still improving as a team builder, and seeing these teams work out as they are is always so encouraging for me to see. And if you haven't already, like this video or simply subscribe and have a battle with this team. And yeah, that's about it. So thanks for watching, and this is Cap signing out. This fella's looking pretty happy. He's just loading all around. This is my defensive wall. I am fond of my very defensive walls.
Just live that. I'm gonna live that. Just fine.